Tell me a ghost story that sounds completely unbelievable but is entirely true. I'll go first.
So I have been waiting for this trend. I have so many ghost stories. When I was a kid, I was very, very intuitive, and I could see things that like other people couldn't see, and I would mention it and people would be like, you're just using your imagination, like that's not real, you know, stuff that they say to kids who can see things. One example of this is I was like about 7, maybe even younger, and I was in my parents' bedroom, which was like the top floor of our house, and I saw in the corner like a little boy. So I was like, Mom, who is this little boy? She's like, there's no little boy here. And I'm like, there's a little boy sitting right there, like I could see him. Like, she's like, no, there wasn't a little boy, but you could tell she was like freaked out. She's like, there's no little boy here. And then we left the room, and she like still brings it up, and I'm like, yeah, I saw a little boy there. I used to see this ghost in our house, and I called him Uncle Bill because I told my mom it was her Uncle Bill. And she was like, how do you even know that I have an Uncle Bill? Because like I didn't know him. And I'm like, yeah, Uncle Bill sits at the bottom of the stairs. And she's like, okay, that's really creepy, but you know, it's in your imagination, blah, blah, blah. As a kid, this caused me like a lot of fear and anxiety. Like I had a bad phobia around ghosts and spirits because I could see them and like I was scared of them. So I think I like turned off that ability to like see them because I can't see them anymore, but I can still hear them. Like sometimes right before I fall asleep at night, or if I'm meditating, I'll hear like voices like say like hello, or I'll hear names. Like I heard somebody say Heather, even though that's not my name, but like, you know, I just hear like weird things and I try to piece it together, but it's kind of hard to hear now. I think I like either turned off or like tried to mute that ability because of my phobia. So then a couple of years ago, I actually decided to see a medium, and I wanted to talk to her about specifically my grandparents, but like I sort of didn't go into it with any expectations, and I found a medium on TikTok, and I contacted her and we set up a meeting. And the first thing she asked is like, is there anybody specifically you want to talk to? And I sort of wanted to see who was going to pull up. So I was like, no, we'll just see who shows up and handle it like that way. And she was like, are you a medium too? And I was like, I think so. Like, I know I told her what I just said. And she was like, yeah, you have a long line of spirits that want to talk to you. She's like, they're sort of just like knocking on your door trying to like get through to you. So she pinpoints this one particularly like vocal spirit, and she's like talking to the spirit, and she's like, are you a witch? And I was like, yeah, like a stranger wouldn't know that about me. Like I was just like a normal person. Like she's like, are you a witch? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, yeah, this ghost wants to talk to you because you're a witch, and she thinks that like she wants you to pass her on specifically because you're a witch. She was a witch in your hometown many years ago, and she feels really connected to you. She said, do you hear voices? Like, do you hear somebody trying to communicate with you? And I was like, yeah, all the time. Or like, you know, those liminal times when I'm sleeping or meditating. And she's like, yeah, that's her trying to be like, help me pass on. I was like, how do I do this? And she got one of my ancestors to like help me help her pass on. But I didn't really do anything my ancestor said, so I'm sorry to that ghost. I never really helped her. And when I tell people these stories, they're like, you're insane. Like, are you sure it's not like a psychiatric disorder? And I'm like, no, it's not. Like, I promise you it's not. It's just something I can do. I don't know.